We were just they're doing a big hike, so we were talking about the fast and when they were going to fast with, this big hike they're doing in the canyon in one day. 17, right? 17?
About 19.
19 miles in and out, which
Mhm.
if you've ever done anything on the road like a marathon, when you're hiking, it's double. It's like being on a road bike or a mountain bike. When you get the rough terrain, it pretty much doubles your miles. So we'll say 32 on asphalt. We'll just play around there. Yep. No big deal. Um, so how was everybody's 511? Anybody can start.
I got confused, had a 411.
You you go to 411?
Yeah, I fasted for 94 hours. So I
Yeah,
missed
I know you
4 days
had a
by 2 hours.
totally different thing.
Well, I
You're
looked at your little chart here and I got confused what to do, so I just quit.
You got confused on the chart?
Well, I'm looking and going, heck, bees are just not to eat.
So
And
how was your
the fat adapting, I think really helped. Last time I tried one of these, I just went and did it.
uh-huh.
The fourth day, I was seeing these neon light thunderbolts in my eyesight.
Yeah.
And which doc said it's not your eyeballs, it's your brain.
Yeah.
And I went and ate and they went away. This time, none of that. And the only reason
Beautiful.
I wrapped it up on the fourth day is your thing's pretty good. You got to skip way ahead the thing about coming off the fast.
Yeah.
And so I used kimchi and sauerkraut,
Beautiful. We're going to talk about
potatoes,
ketobiotic tonight.
and I forget what else. I went kind of slow, but we're going to Florida this week and
Gotcha.
I love grouper. So I'm going to enjoy myself.
Good. What are you going to enjoy your grouper with?
Well, probably not a whole lot of carbs, but just enjoy.
Yeah.
So,
Beautiful. Well, nobody listened to Rod. In the
yeah, I'm
sense,
easily confused. Okay.
no one was
I
supposed to
didn't
fast
know.
for 4 days, just so you know.
Well, I went one day and I thought, well, that was easy. So then I went another, and I wasn't really committed to it.
Yeah.
Just, oh,
It's interesting. Sometimes we can psych ourselves out of like, like thinking about it. And then once if you kind of go into it with that kind of attitude of zero expectation of like, let's just kind of see, right? You actually will surprise yourself. And to realize, as you saw, how much you would set yourself up for success, right? Like the body was more keto adapted. You didn't see any blue and pink lights, which is great. Although if you wanted to see blue and pink lights, then maybe that was a little sad. But
no, I really didn't. And they
yeah,
weren't just blue and pink. These were wild, flashing colors, like
yeah,
lightning.
taking you back to the 70s.
Oh man, I wasn't even a druggie, and I was getting there. Oh yeah.
And that's not what you're meant to see, right? And as you start to get in, you'll see that the clarity, for me, I always tell people like right on the third day is like my favorite day. Because I feel like no hunger's there and I feel really clear and I just feel like in the zone. Everybody's different and everybody's toxic load is different, so kind of how it goes in. But it's good that we weren't you didn't have to fast that long. That was his experiment. So did you test your ketones or anything to see where you were?
Yeah, they were pretty much hanging around 1 to 1.6.
Even
My
3 days in?
what? Yeah, well, probably 2 days. Starting especially the third day then. And again, I don't know if that's high, low, or sideways. But 1 to 1.5 on the ketones
Okay.
didn't seem bad.
Was
Uh,
it the GKI or was it the ketones?
I don't know. It's whatever this little thing reads,
Okay.
because it does blood sugar.
Uh-huh.
Blood sugar started out like at 110, 115. Then
Wow.
it dropped off to 92, 97. Now that I've been eating again, part of the reason, like I said, getting ready, because the way I understood your thing on coming out of the fast is 3 days,
Yep.
right? And so I didn't want to just go to Florida and go, oh, great.
Yeah,
fried
that's
food.
absolutely what we don't want you to do. Yep.
So the sugar dropped off quite a bit, or glucose, or whatever you
Uh-huh.
call it. You know what this thing does, right? It's your
Yeah.
idea. And but again, I wasn't sure. Should I expect more than 1.6 on the ketones?
I would have expected your ketones would have gotten up a bit higher, especially like day 3. I would have expected maybe to see like 2, 3 on the ketones.
No, never
Um,
got above about 1.5.
okay. So that's kind of telling me that um, it's not utilized, and then your glucose never got really lower than what?
92.
Okay, so you're you're definitely not getting as deep as I would expect. There might be a little bit of detox work to do there, just because I would have expected maybe your glucose settle in maybe around 70, especially like not maybe not 48 hours in, but right around 7, like around say 50, 60 hours, I would have expected it to drop like 80s and then
Now,
ketones
the
going
only
up to
time
like
I took
2.
it, I wasn't taking it all through the day.
Uh-huh.
Only time I took it was early in the morning.
Oh, okay. So you're probably getting a little bit more of a cortisol. It would have been interesting to see how you were doing in the afternoons.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was running, so every morning
We'll
I
get
am.
another chance at you, Rod.
So I should take it more often than just the
I
early
would
one.
love I would love to do afternoons. Like I would even say just so it would be something mental wise, you could do it right before bed.
Now, the
Like
one thing I,
more on your longer fast. That's the only thing I'm curious about on the longer fast is seeing how high we did get on your ketones and low on your glucose.
now, you know those little strips
Uh-huh.
test. I was doing those later in the day, and boy, they were going deep purple.
Oh, beautiful. Okay, okay. That's what I'm curious about. I'm
No,
curious.
the thing on there when I compared the color, it's
Mm-hmm.
like 3, 4, or 5.
Mm-hmm.
On are those very accurate?
See, that's the problem with the strips is because it like lumps 3, 4, 5 all together, and we want to know that nitty gritty because 3 is different than 5. Like it's really different.
Well, it
And
has them. I'm
so,
saying the last two, which
uh-huh.
is kind of where I was getting. I think they're like 3 and 4, and then 5 or something.
Yeah,
And I was right up there. The
beautiful. Okay, so that does tell me that you got deeper into ketosis. I'm just kind of curious why your glucose didn't drop as much, although stabilized. I mean, it's not that it was, we don't want you to crash because that tells us that you're not upregulating ketones, but we also don't, we'd like it to, no, there might be a little bit of a stress response. Not that you're a stressed out guy, but like, is there cortisol that is keeping it a little bit more elevated? Just what I'm a little curious about.
Now the other thing that was kind of weird. Yeah, I would have expected, after about a day, then there'd be absolutely nothing coming through the pipes, if you will.
Uh-huh.
And there pretty much wasn't until later in day 3. Honest to goodness, I was just like a step away from diarrhea, and it was dark, dark, dark stuff.
Mm-hmm. Old stuff.
I guess, I don't know.
Yeah. Usually, we still will pass stuff. Many people, there's a lot of people that don't have any, but there are many people that have regular bowel movements. And I'll tell you say something gross and creepy, but I'm just going to tell you guys. Even if I used to work in the operating room for a very long time, even if you actually detach like the colon, like someone has a colostomy, that last piece of rectum will actually create stool. It's like a mucus stool. It will still, and it can literally be like 3 months and it can have a stool in it and it's not attached to your rectum. So there's nutrients and stuff that come through the bowel wall or like mucus and stuff. And so you will create, but we have old stool in us from long periods of time that actually, fasting helps to be able to kind of mobilize through. So, yeah, I think that's probably what you were seeing.
Yeah. Well, unlike my wife, you could use me as a clock. I'm fine.
In and out, just like a dog.
We're done.
Perfect.
I never understood anybody who would read in the bathroom because why would you be there that long?
Amen. Amen. As we should be all.
Sorry, we're sinking here. I'm digressing. I apologize.
That's okay, Rod. Will you,
Oh,
will
hey,
you?
I do have a couple other questions for you.
Yeah, go ahead. Shoot.
How about shopping today? Because I don't come anywhere close, I don't think, to getting the right amount of protein.
Yep.
Okay. So I had to look around. Is that in focus? Let me look.
No, I think it's because your background is blurred.
Oh, is that
Like,
it? Oh, there, hold it.
oh, ancient way native. Okay.
It's the only one I could find that wasn't full of seed oil.
Oh,
And then they
interesting.
brag about how they produce all their own protein, et cetera.
Hmm.
So I'm here, I'll get the,
Yeah, ancient way.
yeah, let's see, I'll move in there. So anyway, because it says, oh brother, it says it's the equivalent of like eating 4 eggs or 6 eggs or
There's
something.
usually about 20 to 25 grams per scoop. That would be my guess. Tell me if I'm right.
25 grams per scoop.
Yes.
You got it. So
I
is
should
that
win Jeopardy.
okay? Because remember, I tried the collagen and it blew me completely out of ketosis.
Yep.
Will that mess with me? Or is that okay?
So it will, so if you have 25 grams, like it, it will give you a little bit of glucose, but it shouldn't blow you out of ketosis
Okay,
because there's no sugar in that.
none.
But it's protein will take us out of ketosis if we have extra protein outside of our kind of amount, right? So let's say it's 75 and you have a scoop of protein and it's taking you to like 95 or something like that. That jump, we will have to see what that little jump does for you. That's what I was curious about the collagen. Was it more about maybe taking you over your protein edge, or was it there's something specific about processing the collagen that took you out of ketosis? I
I
don't
have
know.
no
I don't
idea.
know the answer to that. The one fun way that you would know is if you were fasted. So say you just did this longer fast. So say you were fasted for 20 hours or whatever, and you had a scoop of collagen and you checked your levels, then we'd know more about just the collagen's response to your ketosis because it may have been because you had other proteins and other things and then added the collagen on top, which may have kind of crossed your threshold, which took you out of ketosis. And I know you were out of ketosis the next day as well, but
Yeah.
you might be more adapted now than you were 2 weeks ago.
Okay. Well,
So
okay, another question. Sorry to,
that's okay.
um, now during the fast, you don't do the 2-2-2 thing, right? You're just water, coffee, whatever.
Yep. Uh-huh.
Okay. Now I also have some stuff to avoid as much coffee, this dandy stuff. You're familiar with dandy? It's dandelion
Oh, mm-hmm.
and oh darn, what's the stuff they put in the coffee in New Orleans?
Chicory.
Chicory. So I think those are the main things.
Yeah, dandelion and chicory are great for even when you break fast too, or even during your fast, but they're full of polyphenols, which feed your microbiome. So,
What's the problem with
and
those?
and dandelion also helps with liver kidney movement, so it helps to kind of like mobilize stuff out of the body.
Now, last one I'll get anyway. On my shopping spree,
Hmm. Super
uh,
greens, organic super greens,
yeah,
Xena. Uh-huh.
and again, it didn't have sugar and didn't have seed oil. So that was my deciding factor. I couldn't
Yeah,
believe how often that shows up and stuff.
I know. Whitney has your same protein. That's what she was saying in the chat.
Oh, it's not the same one. It's different.
Oh,
Same but
I was telling
different.
this is a really I don't know how much you paid for that one. Amazon grass-fed protein like whey protein isolate. It's reasonably priced and it's really clean.
Now
It's
this
only
was
whey protein
40, I think this was $47.
for how much?
A bunch. Hang on. 68 ounces.
Okay, this is 5 pounds for 75,
You're killing it,
and
man.
it's grass-fed. Yeah, which is harder to find.
Yeah.
The
very
link
good.
in the chat on
Uh,
Amazon if you want it.
Oh, it's great.
Hey, hold that up there again, will you? I'm gonna take a picture of your
Oh,
You
there
know
you go.
what? If you and Rod, if you click the chat button, you'll see she put the link.
chat button. Oh, hang on. I'm just gonna still shoot. Oh, up a little higher.
Oh.
Yeah. Your post. Oh, hey, you didn't need to do that. But that is grass fed, huh?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And
Chat.
there's literally
Okay.
nothing. The biggest offender I find in all of these is sucralose, and that will chuck you out of ketosis.
Oh, well,
Hmm.
Um, this one's just got protein isolate and a little bit of sunflower lecithin, which is great for you. So
this one has whey protein, stevia.
okay.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
This
mean,
one's
for
just
you it is.
unflavored. I like it unflavored because I can put it in anything.
I
Once
hate
you have flavor, you're committed to a flavor, you know?
this is chocolate, I believe.
Ooh, that's a good flavor.
So Maria, if you're sensitive to dairy, would you not have whey? Because
Correct. Yeah. Whey with people that are sensitive to dairy will bloat you up pretty big. Like it makes you swell. It's like when you put it in the blender, it puffs up. That's what it will feel like in your intestine too, if you're
nice.
sensitive. Sometimes people who are dairy sensitive can actually get away with casein, because it's the very top layer. It tends to be the most clean with the lactoproteins. And if you're going to get away with any type of dairy, it'd probably be casein. And then casein is a slow delivery. It's over 8 hours versus like weighs over 30 minutes that it's delivered, which can be really great for rebuilding muscle after a hard workout. But it's really hard if you're dairy sensitive, unfortunately. And the peas, like the vegetable-based proteins, they usually deliver over about an hour into the system. So vegetable-based proteins can be good. I typically will stick with something like Orgain when I'm looking at vegetable-based proteins, but that's yeah.
What about
Um,
xylitol?
what about xylitol?
Yeah, because chewing gum was a real relief for a couple reasons. One, when you're in ketosis, you really don't want to be upwind from anybody you like.
It's a sweet breath, huh? So delicious.
Yeah, in a word. So the chewing gum has xylitol. So is
Uh-huh.
that okay?
Yeah, it won't raise your glucose. Did your tongue turn any fun colors?
Nuh-uh.
Okay. Like I will tell you that sometimes when people fast, their tongue, because you're detoxing, it can turn like yellow. I've even seen black tongues, which I know sounds really creepy, but yeah, a lot of stuff comes out, especially when people have underlying yeast or candida. So pay attention to what your tongue looks like. And then also, so this could be fun. I'll put this in the Facebook this week, and it's a diagram of the tongue, and you can look at your tongue each morning, and each part of the tongue has to do with different organ groups. So sometimes people could get even like a hot, spicy tongue, or like the tip feels sensitive, or like the sides. You can get what's called furrowing, which you get almost like a scallop look on the side of the tongue. But depending on where you have patchiness, it could tell us that the organ that is stressed. And it's really intriguing to look at your tongue. Sometimes people get like a big crack down the center. That usually tends to be small intestine. On the sides tends to be more liver. But it's interesting to look at it. So I'll share it, and you guys will all be like examining your tongues in the in the mirror. Everybody, you're like, look right here. But it's really cool to see, and kind of examine, and then we can, like, different colors of the tongue mean different things. So could be really really fun.
Hey, jumping ahead to that thing, you have that video
Uh-huh.
coming off the fast.
Mhm.
You had kind of waved us off of nightshades, but part of what I did, because I did the kimchi and the sauerkraut,
Yeah.
but I was also over at the farmer's market, and this guy had these great roasted Anaheims
Mm-hmm.
and red bells.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't, if there was a problem with those, would I have known that? Because I use those as well.
Yeah, if you some people are more sensitive with nightshades than other people. And thinking of inflammatory, if someone is more of an inflammatory autoimmune person, nightshades are probably not the best thing for them to break fast with. But they tend to have a lot of good fiber. And I just, if it's more of an autoimmune type person, I will probably steer them away from them.
Okay.
So, and as long as you didn't feel bloated or anything when you did it.
Yeah, I
Beautiful.
was surprised how well it went.
Whitney, how was your 511?
It was good. It was good. Feeling better. All of our little tweaks we've been making. My body's like getting into the rhythm again, and it feels awesome. So I'm really excited about it.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Yay, that makes me happy. And then Kyla, you had a little reaction with your neck. Oh, you're muted. Maybe. There we go.
Always me. Yes, I got the stain, like a brown stain on the neck, and then
Uh-huh.
the dots, but they're not itchy.
They're not itchy. Are they
Mhm.
getting any bigger or smaller?
No, I got like a cream for, I don't know, cortisol or something like
Okay.
that,
Hmm.
and I put it, so I think it's better. It's hard to see because I have to take a picture
Yeah.
and see it.
So sometimes, and this will be interesting if you look at your lab work, sometimes if insulin and glucose aren't quite sensitized, we can get those brown spots. Sometimes it can just be from aging, but many times it can be from glucose, especially on the neck. The dots more that you showed me seemed more like a detox reaction. So the gut, the immune system, and the brain are all connected. And so when we're killing down bad bacteria and you're starting to have die-off reaction, stuff can come out in the skin. Whether I've seen people with blisters, I've seen, like different weird canker sores, even like little rheumatoid nodules, but acne, different stuff can come out. And it's really just because it's more of a purging thing. It's interesting that it's right on the back of your neck. It's not anywhere else on the body, right?
Oh yeah, remember
No.
No.
Maria? I had it for like months, so don't stress. It's fine. I had like everywhere for months. We had to like B vitamin the hell out of me to get it to stop.
Oh,
I
wow.
don't remember.
Okay.
Yeah. And it will be
That's good to know.
interesting. Yeah, it'll be interesting to look at your hormones too, like on that Dutch, because then we'll also see leakiness of your bowel, like if there's anything with the gut, and it'll all we'll all see why it's happening. But if the hydrocortisone is helping it, it's more of like the immune reaction. But I'll be curious if there's a little hormonal piece of bacteria from the gut, and then we can switch whatever to change it. If I'm grateful that it's not itchy, but it's manageable because it's just on the backside of your neck versus like on your face, which is always really fun.
Yeah, I have an appointment, so hopefully we can get all my results. I took all my labs to your office, so hopefully we can figure out.
Yes, absolutely. And how did your fasted day go? I know you were
Okay.
nervous.
Yes, and I don't know if I did it right, but ketones were at 2.5,
Right.
and then
Nice.
glucose was 86.
Beautiful.
But I did, so I have breakfast and
Hmm.
then I didn't eat anything until next morning when the 24 hours were, and my breakfast was not more than 800 calories
Uh-huh.
or 700. Is that okay?
That was perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, you did great. And you
I'm
were
happy I
and
can
how did
still.
you feel? Like how did you feel mentally?
It was good. Yeah, I didn't like starve or I didn't think about food probably because I knew like I cannot eat, so why will even think about it?
I
I
love
think
it.
as long as I can eat breakfast, I can manage the rest of the day. Like I'm okay with just water or the elementary water helps
Yeah,
too.
beautiful. I have a lot of people that do the same thing where they'll start with breakfast and then they won't eat again. And if they want to, lengthen it, they'll like go to lunch and they'll spread it that way because it's easier mentally for them to do that. And it really, if whatever works for your schedule. And the beautiful thing with that is you were already not eating till dinner. So you knew you could manage a whole work day on just breakfast, right? So that was really good confidence builder to get you to go to the next day and be like, okay, I did that. That was awesome. So I'm proud of you.
Yes.
Good job. And your body responded really well.
Thank
Nice. And Kristen.
I did pretty good. I forgot that we had talked about testing my glucose between 3 and 4. I did it on a few days. My mornings are still, it was like 103 and then 93 and then 107 and then 104. So they're still high. And that's after I get to work.
Okay.
But one question I have, like, so yesterday was kind of, I did a dinner to dinner basically. But I didn't check my numbers in the morning. So I checked them about 3:30 and my glucose was 81 and my
Mm-hmm.
ketones were 1.9.
Great.
And then about 4 hours later, my glucose went down a little bit to 79, but my ketones also dropped to 1.0. So
Ooh,
I
and
don't
how
know.
many hours was that? Like how many hours fasted were when you took the second reading?
It would have been about 24.
Okay, so your body was telling me it was a little stressed. That's why even like the glucose dropped a little bit with the ketones coming back down. It's almost like there was some instability there where it was trying to like almost where it was going to make you feel a little bit hypoglycemic if it kept going a little bit longer. So I am grateful that you guys have this extra little time before the bigger fast because then that's going to give you a little bit more time to play with that 511 and getting a little bit more of those, 20. And I would, you could maybe put particularly like you could fast for like 23 hours, just that 1 hour before. And so we're not stressing it so much. Yeah. Especially given the miles you guys are putting in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and on hike day, I mean, I kind of use that as my feast day just because,
Hmm.
um, I can eat. So Saturday morning I ate beforehand. I think I posted it. I think I ate, I don't know, 20 some grams of protein before the hike and didn't eat a whole lot. I ate two hard-boiled eggs, and an element on the hike, and it was 14 miles. I felt great, at 5:30, which was probably after we got home, I don't know, an hour and a half. And my glucose was 74 and my ketones were 1.8. So,
Nice.
woo.
Nice. Yeah. Doing good. Yeah, I like that a lot. I think it'll be good to give your body just a little bit longer. I think because you have that so much of that stress window in the morning times, and then I just think it's if we just take a little bit longer just to let it ease in, I think it's gonna you're gonna see even bigger ketone numbers and your glucose is gonna be more stabilized. I really do. Beautiful.
Thanks.
All right. And then Sheila, your week.
Yeah, it was good. It was good feast day. I think posted on the Facebook group one of the days after when I broke. I think it was like a 24-hour, 25 hour. I don't
Yeah,
remember.
I saw that.
30 something. I don't know, whatever it was.
I think you were like 30 something.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
good numbers. I mean, glucose is 78, 79, 85. I have ketones over
Uh-huh.
1.1, 1.4, 1.3. So pretty consistent. I don't test first thing in the morning because I get so discouraged because of I know my cortisol, it stresses anyway, so I don't even want to look at it.
It'll stress you the rest of the day if you do.
Yeah, so I'll look at the numbers later.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so it was good. Thank you.
Nice. Okay. I'm going to share with you guys a little bit. So we're going to talk about our 421 and okay. All right. You guys can see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, beautiful. All right. This little guy. All right. And if you have any questions, you guys can always interrupt me. So, week 5, we are just becoming stronger, more efficient fat burners. This is when we're going to talk about our 421. We've just done our little recap of our 511. And, one thing I didn't ask you guys, when you guys feasted, did you feast with protein or carbs? And anybody can speak up.
I kind of have a question about that, just for me personally. I really struggle with carbs. Like after I give myself permission to eat carbs, I
Mm-hmm.
really struggle with then like kind of cutting them back.
Got it.
Um, and so I'm gonna plan on doing protein a lot, but then I also know like the week before, my cycle starts is a time to eat carbs, um,
Mm-hmm.
which still kind of makes me nervous because then once again I come off of that and I have a hard time
Reining it back in.
eating carbs. I'm good when I'm off them for a bit, because my carbs this last week were probably 10 net carbs.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I don't eat like regular processed sugar or flour. Um,
When you increase your carbs before the cycle, just make it things like zucchini and yams and like your all your orange and red foods that are a little bit more higher in carbohydrates, have strawberries and peppers and that kind of thing. And that might, obviously, as we all know, anything that's like white anything, we get addicted to really quickly. You have one cracker and you're like, oh, all I want is crackers. Um,
Yeah,
but
and I don't eat any of that stuff. So really I'm getting my carbs from like, yeah, fruits and
vegetables
vegetables.
based, yeah.
Even I have a hard time even with sweet potatoes. I
Okay.
don't eat them much. So then when I eat them, then I want to keep eating them. So
Yeah, only the week before the cycle. But so with the protein feast, what we would do is we'd want to have protein, like you would want to have like 120 grams of protein. It's really pushing you out. It's pushing you out of ketosis on purpose. So the too much protein is going to have gluconeogenesis, so it's just going to spill sugar. So, typically you're probably doing, say, 70 grams, and we're going to increase that to push you out of ketosis. So if you're doing like 100 to 120 grams of protein. And it'll feel like a lot. And I don't want you to have like a fasted window during that time. So you could have like breakfast, lunch, dinner, and you could have, 30 to 40 grams of protein per meal.
okay.
Okay.
So Maria, I feast with protein
Uh-huh.
also. And so if my golden number is if I do 60, so I eat two meals and they're 30 a piece. And if I barely go up to 70, I'm already out of ketosis.
Oh, okay.
So would I still need to increase to 120 or would I just like go to 80 or something?
You just go to 80.
Okay.
Yep, because your window's smaller. Yeah, the whole goal is to push you out of ketosis.
Not way out of ketosis and
Is to push you, I mean, to push you out, like less than 0.5.
okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
beautiful. Did anybody fast or feast with carbohydrates, and how did you feel the next day?
That's what I do.
Yeah.
I like it. My
Yeah,
body likes it.
no, and you know what? Yeah, I do well with carbohydrates, feasting with carbohydrates, but it's, everybody's a little bit different. So,
Mhm.
some people, can feel sick with carbs, and so we're just kind of getting information, right?
Yeah, I didn't want to do any more protein. Like I was telling you last week. Like I'm just so tired of eating protein. The idea of eating more on one day sounded horrible.
You're like, no, no, I'm not doing it. Okay, so why will we add in another fasted day this week? This is because we're increasing that metabolic mitochondrial fitness. So we're trying to put our body, we're in ketosis, and then we're pushing it out of ketosis. We're pushing it deeper into ketosis, going fasted, and then we're coming out and then going deeper back in. So that vacillation, it's what creates that muscle that allows our body to adapt and be able to be fine either way. So whether we're in a non-fasted or a fasted state, the body knows how to regulate for fuel really, really easily. So that is our whole goal by adding in another fasted day. And then what's also preparing us as we have more of this metabolic mitochondrial fitness, we're going to be more prepared for our fast. Our bodies can be able to create that energy and be more efficient over time. And we're going to have more of that autophagy time. Cool. There we go. Okay, so how we're going to break up the fast this week. So this is really important. I don't want you to do the fasted days back to back. Rod, I do not want you to do the fasted days back to back. Just
I'm a
messing with
slow
you.
learner.
Hey, you get there. So let's just say you fasted on Wednesday and then you could fast again on Saturday. You can break it up however you want, whatever your schedule feels like it will be good with. And on the alternate days, you're going to go back into your intermittent fasted window, the one that we've already created. Let's say it's 15, 16, 17 hours, whatever that is. Keep those same hours. And then you're going to choose your one feast day. And you can choose protein or carbohydrates. You can vacillate from what you chose before just to see how you feel. Or you can, keep, if protein's a better style or carbs are a better style, you can stick with that as well. So
The
go ahead.
question, On your feast day, do you still do the 2-2-2?
No, you don't have to. Mm-mm.
Okay.
No. Yeah, good question. So 4 days of the week, we're going to keep the eating window. So 10, 8, 6, 4 hours. And then only eat 2 meals during this window. And then we're going to keep our carbs that into your carb window. So everybody's carb window can be a little bit different. But I like you below 50 net carbs. Some people are at 20. It really depends on where your ketosis it's better with your carbs. And then your fast, you can be partial fast during those days. We can go dinner to dinner. We can do partials, which is that 500 to 800 calories and under 15 to 20 grams of protein. You could do bone broth during that time, or you could do strict water. It's totally up to you. But there is that fasting cheat sheet that you can use for those fasted days. And then our feast day, we're going to increase your carbs. Some of you, if it takes you out of ketosis going up to 80, you can do 80. For other people, it might be 120. Some people like Rod, it could be potentially, I feel like Rod is a little bit smaller on how many grams of protein he could have where it pushes him out of ketosis. But, some people may need up to 150 grams of protein, but that's a job. But the taking you out of ketosis is what upregulates mTOR, which is more of a building, and we have to tell our body that it's not in a starvation mode, that we're replenishing it. So that's the job of this feast day. So breaking with a ketobiotic meal, and I like using things like sauerkraut, kimchi, pickles. You can use cocoyo. It's a probiotic coconut yogurt. You could use kefir, and then you could use things like bone broth or kombucha, preferably a homemade kombucha. Um, and then we can add a protein as well as like I love to start with something like avocado with like hemp seeds, a little bit of olive oil, and like some kimchi. I think that's a great way to break your fast and then add in, a little bit later some type of protein with it. But that's really just to replenish your microbiome and give it a good thing to kind of fuel off of. And then breaking your fast properly is really important, especially when we talk about the longer fast. And we're going to go deeper into the longer fast and breaking that fast next week. But on these shorter fasts, you could start it with something like avocado and like the hemp seeds and the kimchi, and then you can add in some stuff, after that. So next week we're going to fast, and we're going to choose a type of fast, and we can kind of see how this week goes, and then we can decide next week what kind of fast we want to do. And there are these little, if someone is really interested in doing the partial Prolon kit, there is like a fasting mimicking, it's a kit, and I can get it for you. I typically see this as for someone who doesn't want to do much preparation, kind of it's set it and forget it. It has a box, it has the soup in it, but I have made you a fasting mimicking DIY. So you can use that sheet and choose from the selected foods for the partial that keeps you within those ranges. You could just do a bone broth. You could just do a partial, which is your partial fasted cheat sheet. And then the other thing that you can also do is we could take your intermittent, if you're a little bit nervous and maybe your ketones aren't rising, but everybody here is actually having really decent ketones. So I'm actually really not concerned about this group. If someone was really struggling to get like 0.6 on their ketones, I might actually take their intermittent window. And let's say they were doing 17 hours, I might actually just move them to 18 or 19 hours all week. So each day they would do an 18-hour fast. But I don't see anybody in this group that I feel that strongly about that with. And if you're interested where you want to just do like a dinner to dinner each day, that's okay too. That just really starts to create more of that metabolic mitochondrial fitness in it, and it's absolutely fine. One is not better than the other. It's all just a learning experience. So There'll be lots of us that are doing strict water. I don't really have people run dry fasts. I like to be much more close contact with you guys if you're going to choose to do a dry. And if you really want to do it, you just let me know and we can talk about it. And then we will watch your ketones and your glucose throughout your fast. And that's really important because we're really looking to make sure that your ketones are going up every day, that the glucose is really balanced, that we don't see ketones dropping and glucose rising. And that's kind of telling us we may be needing to break. And it's okay if we break early, we can always break to a partial. So we'll go into that a little bit more depth next week, but just kind of think about this list of what you might want to do and then go off how you feel this week. Start to kind of feel it out, feel your confidence, and we can all kind of decide what we want to do next week. And then, as I was kind of saying, take some time to reflect this week of how things are going, and you're going to make change no matter what you do, and no effort is a failure. So just remind yourself of that. We do have a power of this group, and everybody is at different places, but we can use each other, and we will always have your support during this time, I promise. And if something weird or wonky comes up, you can always call me at the office directly, or you can message me in the group. And this is always a really fun process because it's interesting to see feelings, emotions, body aches. Things can really trigger a lot of stuff with us. And all your organs have different emotions in Chinese medicine, like your liver. As we mobilize the liver is the king of fear, anger, frustration. And gallbladder is reminiscent of things were better when. And so sometimes we can get kind of crazy dreams in this. We could have weird emotions. It's interesting to see the things that are coming up during that process. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. So breaking up I love how this is messed up there. It says 5, 4, 1, 1. This is a 4, 2, 1. So the days are broken out correctly. So you can see we're not going to do back-to-back days. We're going to break them up. So we'll do a famine day, eating window, eating window, feast day, eating window. And you can break it up anything like this or totally separate, but I like to split this again. That's just causing your body to go deeper into ketosis and then coming to not as much as ketosis and then completely out of ketosis and back in, right? Okay. This is just our kind of sample foods for the week. Okay. And I'll stop the share there. Questions about that? Rod, you're not doing 2 days back to back.
Promise.
What day do you leave?
Hey, Maria,
Uh-huh.
you know, he has been known to be a hardhead and not listen to his wife. Do you know that?
I do. I see this.
See?
Yeah, but I'm also so well trained, I do what anybody's wife says.
Yeah, don't listen to it.
But you told me not to, and I won't.
What day do you guys leave?
Those are code words for neutered.
Oh.
Absolutely.
Well trained, well trained. That was the right word. I picked the wrong word. Hey, okay, I do have a couple questions for you.
Okay.
The only supplements I kept taking during the fasting, I took my apple cider vinegar capsules
Mm-hmm.
because I hate that stuff going down my throat.
Yeah.
And I took that C15. But
Perfect.
other than that, I didn't take any others.
Totally
Are there
good.
some that I should take?
You can take B vitamins.
B?
B vitamins, yep. B vitamins are water soluble, and you can also take minerals, and electrolytes, basically like magnesium, sodium, potassium, that kind of thing. And you can take your minerals. Sometimes minerals, especially like zinc, can be hard on an empty stomach. Zinc can make you kind of nauseous, but if you tolerate your minerals just fine on an empty stomach, then I wouldn't tell you to not do them. But if you're someone that gets like, I definitely get nauseous with zinc, so I just don't. But B vitamins, you can absolutely take. during your fasted window. And I'll share with you supplements in the group of what supplements to take during the fast. We typically stay away from like fish oils. Even though fish oils can make you go deeper into it fast, there is some caloric, I don't know. If you're an elitist or not an elitist, I always just am looking at ketone levels. There are many people that are like, that will absolutely break a fast if you take that, you know,
Oh, they're crazy.
like organ meats or like fish oils or things like that. I really just look at how your body's responding and what is the necessity. And so sometimes we don't need to take all the things because it's just more work on the body and we're trying to let it recover during that time. So what are the things that could be nourishing for the body during the time? That's what I'm really thinking about most. And everything in your body has to use methylation, and B vitamins support the methylation cycle as your body's detoxing. And the same thing with things like minerals and electrolytes, because we're going to be doing away with a lot of things. You're not taking carbs in, so it's harder to hold on to water. So that's why electrolytes are going to be really important during that time. So those are the things I think about when I'm thinking about supplements. What are the things that could be nurturing myself during that time? And, some of us will have bigger detox reactions. And so binders can be really helpful at night before bedtime, just to help kind of deal with low-hanging fruit that's coming off, especially if you're having brain fog or weird skin stuff or back aches. But I'll talk about that next week. We'll talk about like what to do if you're having joint aches and things with like Epsom salt baths and stuff. So lots of tips and tricks that we'll utilize during that time if you feel yucky. Did you ever get any achiness or anything, Ron? Did your body hurt at all anywhere?
No.
Beautiful.
Oh,
No, I did keep going to Orange Theory through the whole thing. Didn't seem to bother anything.
Oh, you're killing me, Rod. You're killing me, Rod.
making me tired. Stop it.
Hey, I'm only 69, okay? If I was dyslexic, I'd be 96.
I'll take it during a fast, but holy cow, I don't know about Orange Theory.
You went to Orange Theory like 3 days in?
Every day.
Okay. See, that's what I don't want everybody to do. I'm thinking of nourishing things for your body.
Well, you know how you were saying though, the mental sharpness,
Uh-huh.
it seemed like everything was very good.
Mhm.
Yeah. And
Had plenty of energy.
you tend to gain energy during that time. I mean, some of us could feel a little bit more lethargic if we have a little bit more toxin on board, but you tend to, as your body's converting more ketones and you're upregulating quite well, then you're going to have more energy. I typically will try especially like, let's say we're in a 5-day. I'll tell people not to, like, you can go out and walk or light hike, yin yoga, that kind of thing. But the last day would be the day that I would say you could go exercise fasted, because we're going to be getting to a break point. But we're thinking about rest, digest, heal. We're trying to nurture ourselves through the process and not put more added stress on top.
Part of it, though, in your things, whatever it is, you said distractions are good, and that was a really great distraction.
I know it was. I know. You just, well, don't compete as much when you're there. You could do it for the movement, but not to compete.
Usually I'm the token male anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Perfect. You're just gonna
It's
go
not
there.
an I won't compete statement. Thank you.
I don't know how to go and not compete.
Whitney, if you've been to Orange Theory, some of the
I
women there, they will just grind you up.
I have been many times.
I used to go and then my body hated my guts, so I quit it.
I stay completely out of their way.
There you go. That's smart.
Grind me up and leave me
job
up.
security for an orthopedic surgeon.
No joke.
I just feel like it's many people that maybe don't have enough range of motion trying to lift heavy things fast, and then faster than the person beside them. And I'm like, but you don't even have the hip flexibility to do that. And they're going. I'm like, oh, there goes the shoulder.
I did get a pretty good belly laugh out of one of the trainers because I do this thing where I take 50 pounds and I go all the way down to the bench and back up and all the way down and back up. And I told her that's the elder approach to not getting stuck on a toilet seat.
Prehab or rehab? Pick one.
Nice.
Yep.
Okay. Does anybody have questions about 421? About
Whitney's got it locked in.
this week? Okay. Everybody has their goals, and yeah, and then Kyla, let me know if there's you get any new rashes, if anything like starts to pop up, like on your arms, your belly, or anywhere else. If they're
Okay.
worse. Yeah.
I was going to say I am getting cramps, and it's usually when I'm waking up, like in the morning, and it's like my left leg.
Do you have any magnesium?
I do take magnesium, but the glycinate,
Okay. Yeah,
Mhm.
glycinate.
before I go to bed.
Like 500 milligrams? How much?
Not sure.
Do me a favor, take one at night and one in the morning and tell me if it's better.
Okay.
Yeah, I would be curious because it's going to be sodium, potassium, or magnesium, one of three. And many of us, like I know this about myself, I'm a salt waster. And magnesium is also my other good one. But if someone, tried to feed me bananas and potassium kind of thing, it wouldn't change the cramps. And so you may err on the side, like could it be potassium? Absolutely. But I usually, when with people with fasted, it's usually magnesium or salt. And you're pretty good about using like Relight. I'm just wondering if we did the magnesium twice a day, if it could totally stops.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Kyla, I got a question because that hit me too.
Okay.
Left leg from the inside of the knee up to the groin.
Ah.
It was invigorating.
It's just
Pulled your muscle at Orange Theory.
doing the 50-pound kettlebell.
It's not a cramp, Rob.
But I mean, it was the left leg, same thing like Kyla said.
Hey, what's the left leg? That's with where your heart is, when way it pumps, right? Your left leg is the second one to get. No, I'm trying to think of where, like the vein diagram.
You're gonna go right and left.
Okay,
But
maybe your right one's hogging all the good stuff.
Oh, is that it?
I don't know.
But what and then Rod, are you pretty good about using like Element or any type of electrolyte when you're and did the cramp when you were sleeping or when you were working out?
About 2:30 in the morning. Both times.
Perfect. And then
And to your question, no, I'm not good about using them. I put the better part of it, well, I don't know, probably a half to 2/3 of a teaspoon of the pink salt in these 24-ounce water cans. And then I try to drink 4 of these.
Okay.
Although I think at least one of the days when I got the cramps, I'd only gotten through like 2 or 3. So I probably was a little dehydrated.
Are you taking any magnesium?
No.
Have to.
Okay. Lisa, feed him some magnesium tonight.
Okay. She knows I have magnesium.
You have magnesium? Now, what about the sodium I'm getting from the salt, right?
How much?
Yep. Give him 2 caps before bed, 1 to 2 caps.
Okay.
Which is what? And
it's going to be like they're probably 250 a piece, so it'd be 500.
500. Now you mentioned sodium would be the salt. The 2 teaspoons is what I make sure I get as a baseline. That's what I get in here.
And that's why I think you've got enough salt. I think it's probably your magnesium.
Now, where do you get the potassium? Is that the same thing like a supplement?
You could do this if you like you could take LMNT or Relight, one of those electrolyte drinks, but because they're heavy on salt and potassium and magnesium, and it's just in a little powdered thing. I can get you a link. I'll type this in the MNT.
Okay. Hey, I was going to ask you, this thing says it has a organic hydration blend.
That's going to have potassium and magnesium in it too.
By golly, it says it has potassium, calcium, sodium.
And how much?
Yeah, it's not gonna be enough probably, especially
How much
magnesium.
I
potassium
don't
is,
see any
because it's all
magnesium
like
on it. It
three.
has iron.
Okay.
And I, what the heck is that word? Oh, okay, I got it. So should I do, what are those things you gave me? For the, put in my drink?
Oh,
The-
Ultima,
Ultima.
electrolyte?
oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, are you using those?
What, she just gave me one today.
Okay, start using those and we'll see if the cramps are better. And then she'll give you some magnesium and I bet you're going to see it goes away.
Okay,
Tell her
Yep.
you're with the same issue.
it doesn't matter.
It
She's
doesn't-
dead.
okay.
Beautiful.
See, I'm-
All right, we will come back together next week and we're going to be a cramp-free zone.
And well, you won't find out from me because Lisa and I are going to be on an airplane flying from Tampa to Phoenix.
Oh, okay, no problem.
So it's not personal. We just aren't going to be there.
I will video it for you. I will make fun of you while you're not here and you can watch it in the rewind.
Yeah, it's not a problem.
Beautiful. We'll miss your face. Yes, Miss Whitney.
Can I still take during fasting? Can I still do my injectable peptides?
Oh, yeah.
Cool. Okay, I thought so, but I wanted to clarify. Right. I was like, I think those will help me heal. I think I need to keep those up.
No, I think you should too. Absolutely.
What does the peptide do? Because you have me taking those shots too, and when I
Depends on
remember
the
to
peptide.
take them.
Yeah, it depends on the peptide. So a peptide, 1,000 peptides make up an amino, which makes up a protein, and they all have different functions in the body. So everybody knows about Ozempic and Mounjaros, right? Those are peptides, and they're specifically related to GLP-1s, which sensitize insulin and glucose. But there are peptides that signal your pituitary to make growth hormone, which helps you with muscle mass. Lean muscle mass helps with weight loss. And it helps like even with skin elasticity because growth hormone creates the elasticity of our skin. And then over the age of 30, growth hormone starts to plummet downwards. And then all of a sudden we wonder why we have crepey skin or why we don't heal as well. And we cut ourselves and it's not quite healing like, when you were 15. That's growth hormone. So there's ones that for growth hormones, there's ones for sleep, so
I have the one you gave me to stick in my belly.
Yep, you are on CJC, which is a growth hormone secretagogue, which tells your pituitary to act like it's 30 again. Sorry, Lisa.
Yeah, Lisa.
I'll try that one. I'll try all the peptides. Whatever.
She actually had me grow.
Prepared.
She got right after the first of the year, Lisa got all over me about growing a beard so I'd look older than her. And it worked. I looked about 80. Then I made the comment to her that, I don't think I look 69. And she said, well, you used to. But
now he's going to shave it off on his birthday. So
I did. It's all gone. Well, I kept this, but she wanted all this.
Oh.
I'd look like Santa Claus.
Yeah, you look much more cool with the goatee. Yeah.
She made me go to the barber just 2 days ago so I would look cooler. It didn't work.
Well, we're going to 421 questions this week and then cramp-free zone next week. Sound good? Beautiful.
You guys have a great week.
You too. Good night.
See ya. Bye.